Hello and welcome to part 2 of Borobudur Temple on Ageless Rock channel. I will continue with a few more lesser known facts and you get to decide what this structure is. Borobudur is promoted as a temple built by the Javanese in the 8th century and completed in the 9th century. Their empire once spread to Cambodia. I wonder if that ever took place. The reason I wonder about this is because Cambodians never learned Javanese and Javanese never reached Australia, even though it is very near. Borobudur temple structure is also known as step pyramid, but some argued it is a colossal stupa with a huge stupa on the top. But there is another stupa hidden in plain sight. Can you see it? If not, all you need to do is remove the irritating tourists who are always in your way when you try to take a photo and see the imaginary stupa from the east entrance. Speaking about step pyramids, Borobudur temple can be seen as 9 steps pyramid, counting Kamadhatu level as 1 step, 5 steps at Rupadhatu level, which is a square mandala design, and above that there are 3 steps at Arupadhatu level in round design, so that makes 9 steps for Borobudur temple. The famous Chichen Itza pyramid also has 9 levels. Is that a coincidence or there is a sacred knowledge that the mysterious unknown ancient builders were using? How about the famous Tikal pyramid in Guatemala? Is this another great pyramid with 9 steps built in 8th century a coincidence? I think 9-level pyramid is something worth looking into as a design with sacred geometry knowledge. These 3 monumental structures have 9 levels. Borobudur temple and Chichen Itza temple are very much the same to me. They both have stairs on each side, except Tikal pyramid which has stairs only from the west side. It will be interesting to see if there is a research on pyramids with 9 steps. Here is a simple comparison just to have an idea of the size of these 3 9-step pyramids. Tikal is 55 meters tall, while Chichen Itza is 30 meters tall. Maybe this will be a useful information for future reference. Believe it or not, even the official version for its purpose is written cautiously. We still do not know the original intention of this structure. If it is a vihara, it should have a roof so that you can go in and meditate regardless of weather. After 75 years of construction, you need to check the weather before you can meditate. It's kind of illogical. There are many Buddha statues here, but there is no single gigantic Buddha statue as what most people would expect. It is odd that this mega project did not come with a single super awesome Buddha. Most Buddhists will know that it is like something is missing and it is incomplete without it. It is not wrong, but it is not likely to happen if it is a temple. That is why some people argue it is an oversized stupa. Probably the only reasonable thing to do here is circumambulate it. That is why pilgrims come here once a year on Wesak Day and circumambulate the entire structure. Other than that, it is very much a tourist site for most of the year. When you put all these mind-boggling facts together, it somehow fails the common sense test. This kind of project cannot escape history, no matter how you try to justify it. So who was the architect? According to mainstream, it was Gunadharma. But Gunadharma was a local legend. According to legend, he is lying down with his head in the east and his leg in the west on Menore Ridge. He is here to watch over his creation. Can you see Gunadharma to the south? It is very hard for me to imagine the outline. But when I use Google Earth, I think I know what the legend is talking about. The architect is actually lying down. I think the head, the torso and the legs of the legend is captured by Google Earth. According to a Dutch scholar by the name N.J. Krom, Gunadharma is a Sanskrit name. Javanese didn't change the name to fit a local legend, could mean Gunadarma might be a real person. So for now, Gunadarma is the real human architect with the possibility of myth. But this is absolutely bizarre to me because I don't know how did ancient Javanese knew there is a human-looking terrain if they don't have the means to see things from the sky. So the alien theorists would be happy to take this as evidence that there is an extraterrestrial intervention in the midst of a myth. Speaking about alien theory, there are 72 Buddha statues in the stupas. This is an oddity in Buddhism. Stupa is for circumambulating and Buddha is usually on its own and not confined inside something like a cage or fence. Buddha is too sacred to be depicted as if he is in a trapped situation. But tourists will want to touch this because it is said to bring good luck. So if you believe in alien, then this is definitely something for you to think and talk about. Information came to us from outer space. Due to our own interpretation of what happened in the past, it became a religion. You can check out Cargo Cult by Eric von Däniken, who explained it very well. These bell-shaped stupas look like melted objects when rediscovered by Europeans. If the Javanese created this out of bedrock, they don't need Europeans to tell them what to do. Most likely, they are the ones who will be telling the Europeans how to restore. Archaeologists like to paint a terrible Armageddon scenario for Borobudur temple as buried in lava ash and abandoned, but I am very sure that did not happen. Volcanic ash covered only a thin layer and got washed down over many centuries. That is why it was buried to the point where only the bottom reliefs were covered and rediscovered in 1885. Old photos don't lie. The chatra on top of the central stupa fell and most pieces were looted. That is why they are not there anymore. Trees were growing because of a thin layer of accumulated volcanic ash. Without restoration, it will look like a hill. This structure was never buried in ash. It was covered in vegetation. Mount Merapi erupted in 2010. Articles were written like an apocalypse just happened. Lava streams were flowing and ashes blown in all directions and people are dying. In reality, the lava flowed 3 kilometers down the slope towards south on the first day, and typically they never flow more than 8 kilometers. Borobudur is about 28 kilometers southwest of Merapi volcano. It is too far to have any major impact. Borobudur temple was only covered in 1 inch of volcanic ash. If Javanese are too lazy to do anything about it, they can just wait for the rain. My point is, you can have one eruption every year for 10 years in a row and still no Buddhists will abandon this temple. Despite the doomsday scenario given by archaeologists when connecting Mount Merapi and Borobudur temple, life actually goes on as usual if you are more than 10 kilometers away. Schools were open and Javanese just hope for a better tomorrow. Look at the ruins after many earthquakes and volcano eruptions. They are relatively easy to restore and use it again compared to the effort of constructing one. No Buddhist in their right mind will abandon this when all you need to do is pick up the fallen pieces. The greatest threat to Borobudur temple is actually not natural disaster. The greatest threat is Homo sapiens sapien. We loot and pillage for collectors around the world. We chop the heads off for museum and private collections. The stone lions are endangered species if not guarded from humans. Buddha in the stupa was not even safe when Islamic radicals blew up 9 stupas in 1985. Then, in 2014, Buddha in the stupa was threatened by ISIS. Earthquakes can only topple stones on the top. Just pick it up once every few decades. It's not going to be a problem. Everything else is due to Homo sapiens sapien. If Javanese built this, they should be able to restore it. Instead, it was the Europeans who teach the Javanese how to restore and wonder how it can be done by chisels. These bell-shaped stupas are more than just an impressive structure to look at. From an engineering point of view, it is a very different story. Experts say the geometrical mathematical knowledge is not available in Java 1200 years ago to carve perfect bell shape that fits perfectly like Lego blocks. To cut andesite at an angle with a curve will require machine. If done by chisel, there will be many blocks that will be rejected. There should be thousands of stone blocks set aside as rejects for this entire project. I will end part 2 here and continue part 3 of Borobudur temple in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this short presentation and see you in part 3. This is Bernie Ong signing out. Sekian, terima kasih.